bagpipes, 3 volleys, and taps. Deputy Timothy De La Fuente was given the same honors Thursday as every other Bexar County deputy who's died in the line of duty.
And yet the county where he served and protected the citizens of Bexar County, they continue to deny and try to dismiss the work that he did.
Bexar County is suing De La Fuente and his widow, Pauline Pazina De La Fuente, over his death benefits. He died in her arms after she believes he contracted COVID-19 working in the county jail.
I think it's just shameful. It's very disheartening, and it's like my husband was just a claim number to them.
The county claiming De La Fuente didn't contract the virus on the job, that Pazina wasn't his legal spouse, in addition, that she needed to repay the cost of his cremation.
So disrespectful and disheartening.
An administrative court judge has ruled in Pazina's favor twice now, so she was shocked when the county served her with this lawsuit in early 2022.
Every time I have to go to court, it's a reminder, and I have to relive the situation the day that my husband died.
In a statement, the county says in part, quote, "While we disagree with the general characterization of this matter, we are working to ensure that Bexar County funded benefits are paid out appropriately and in accordance with relevant law. The county is paying survivor benefits and will continue to do so until a court makes a ruling." Pazina's lawyers are requesting a jury trial if the lawsuit goes to court, saying this isn't what she or any other grieving family deserves.
I don't want them to be able to do this to another widow or family, a parent, a child.
Americans threw away 40 million tons of plastic last year, and only about 5 to 6% of it got recycled. News 4 troubleshooter Emily Bauckham has a groundbreaking work being done right here in San Antonio to turn those numbers around.
Finding a home for all your trash.
Whether it's your used pizza box, your soda bottle, or your nasty kitchen stuff.
That's Josephine Valencia's job for the city of San Antonio, and she's noticed a positive trend lately when it comes to plastic.
Right now, since fuel is so high, plastic recycling is actually profitable.
Water bottles, soda bottles, and milk jugs are in high demand, but before they can truly be recycled, there's a labor-intensive washing and sorting process to separate the plastic from labels and lids.
Rather than actually recycling that material, people have just been dumping it into oceans. They've been sending it to landfills. They've been incinerating it to get energy.
Sionyi Hoekstra is a chemical engineering program manager at Southwest Research Institute.
We live in plastic, and I think, it's great to think maybe there's someday a world where we can get away from plastic, but the reality is companies want to use it because it's easy to use.
So her team is helping companies develop ways to recycle plastic exactly how it looks when you throw it into the blue bin.
What we have here is plastic flakes.
They chop up the plastic, labels and all, process it in a reactor, and turn it into chemicals. In other words, raw materials that can now make all kinds of new products.
So now we can make a plastic bottle into furniture. We can make a plastic bottle into the sneakers that we wear. Our goal is to try and capture about 70% of the plastics that are ending up in incinerators.
I think it's really exciting.
Valencia is watching closely the advancements in technology taking place in our own backyard,
Which I think will eventually have some really big beneficial impacts for the recycling industry and as well as for the environment overall.
According to the Department of Labor, the unemployment rate for veterans is 2.4%, well below the 3.6% for civilians, and that could be an indicator that employers are looking for veterans for their talents and their education. Before Michael Gray landed a job at this veteran-owned warehouse downtown, he bounced around to several odd jobs which were difficult physically. Gray is a disabled veteran with an injured knee. He served for 6 years in the Army.
When you get trained in the military, it's a little different from civilian life. So, when you go to work someplace, you're used to, military life and style and stuff like that.
Gray is one of many success stories from the American GI Forum, a nonprofit which helps veterans find housing and get jobs. Judy Villarreal has helped hundreds of veterans get connected to employers over the past couple years.
They told me that they're ready to work. They're the ones that know how to respond quickly to things. So that's one of the positives that they have working with vets, that they know they can think on the spot.
Jerry McKisson is a case manager with the GI Forum. He's helped countless vets get off of the street and get jobs. Even with a high demand from employers, he says the transition from military life to civilian life can be a major challenge for some.
It's different because you no longer have that safety net. So like I tell a lot of people coming in, look, what we do here is we give you a safety net that the military is no longer, able to give you.
Drivers, start your engine.
The beloved sights and sounds of the racing capital of the world.
Let's go racing!
Hundreds of thousands of fans packed the speedway to see who would add their name to the Indy 500's lengthy legacy. And 500 miles later, it was the Australian Will Power finally capturing his first victory at the pinnacle of the sport.
Just overwhelming, amazing. It's a funny, you just forget where you are and you're just so immersed in the race that you don't even realize. When on the white flag lap, I started screaming because I just knew I was going to win it. Unbelievable.
The day wasn't so sweet for the rest of the field, though, as record temperatures affected the grip on the track, effectively putting some of the biggest names at the mercy of one of the most daunting tracks in the world. Each of last year's top 3 finishers ended their days early, as did Danica Patrick in what's believed to be her final race. Heartbreak for all, but felt also by Indy native Ed Carpenter, who started the race in pole position but came up just short of his first Indy win.
You never know how these races are going to unfold, but, I thought for the most part the team executed well. I thought, there's only a couple little things maybe could have made a difference, but Will won the race and we ended up second, and we'll be happy with that and come back stronger next year.
No matter the finish, the greatest spectacle in racing is still a thrill for all involved, but especially for those experiencing it for the first time.
Hoping for more. In other ways, it surpassed everything I ever could have imagined. So it was one hell of a race. It was an emotional roller coaster.
But of course, only one driver gets to finish with the thrill of victory, as Will Power leaves Indy with a sweep of this month's Indy Grand Prix and then the sport's ultimate prize.
I just screamed like I've never screamed before. It was just amazing. The last 2 laps, the last lap, seeing the white flag, the checkers, you can't explain it.
Go. Scoop, step, throw. You can probably tell from my accent, I'm not from Texas. I'm still working my y'alls.
We decided to start our legacy here.
For Ali Reed and Daniel Lopez, teaching and coaching has always been a way of life.
Who wants to help me out?
Just last year, Lopez and his wife decided to move to San Antonio full-time, opening their own Skyhawk Sports Academy franchise in West San Antonio.
We decided to, because we think that it's a good opportunity for the kids to learn another language.
You got this?
That language,
give us a clap. Woo, let's go. Right.
Is sports.
Actually, this could be a really good opportunity to share what I know and provide more opportunities for people in Texas and do something I'm really passionate about and share that with kids here.
Moving from the United Kingdom, Reed also opened a Skyhawks franchise, his drawing more in the New Braunfels area. But Reed had different reasons to start here.
My son has got a lot of special needs, so there's been a lot of access to healthcare that maybe wouldn't have got as easily in the UK.
His son thriving now with the advanced medical care from local hospitals. Both Reed and Lopez, though, came with the same goal.
The life skills we focus on too, like respect, teamwork, leadership, sportsmanship and inclusion, one of our big ones we look at right now.
Some of the camps are small with just 5 to 15 kids. But Lopez says they have partnerships with a lot of schools in the area that expand the camps to 50 to 80 kids, and they don't want to stop there.
How big do you expect it to get?
The sky is the limit.
Matt Roy, Fox News at 9.
Yeah, she's going so good. Right.
We followed along as Bexar County deputies trained on how to breach doors, whether that be ramming it, shooting through the locks. The main goal being to save whoever's on the other side. The BCSO SWAT team trains together on a weekly basis, but today, the stakes are higher.
Today, it entails live rounds, live ammunition.
They're practicing breaching doors, real bullets and real events weighing heavily on the deputies' minds.
We take the training very seriously, Besides the Uvalde incident, these guys, we're all fathers, we're all brothers, we all have families.
It was a door like this one shown at Tuesday's Senate hearing, standing between officers and an active shooter in Uvalde, along with students and teachers who needed help.
And if we're not capable of handling some of the worst days that are going to be thrown at us, then we're not where we need to be yet. We've got to train more. We've got to train more often. And it's not just how much time we spend, it's how we spend the time.
John Kernut is the Assistant Director of the Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training Center at Texas State. He says they've got solutions for the tactical issues revealed in the Uvalde shooting response, solutions that have been taught for years now. And Kernut thinks the high-stakes training is crucial in teaching officers how to respond in the real world.
The demand is always there, but now the expectation by everybody outside of our industry has finally caught up. We've been saying that we need more training for a long, long time.
The SWAT team trains on door breaching multiple times a month, but Lieutenant Ortega says they're always looking to get better and faster.
In just a few short seconds, it makes a difference.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office also just purchased several dozen breach kits, which you can see laid out right here. They've got a ram that they can use to push open different types of doors, a ballistic shield with lights on it, and this Halligan tool, which they can use to set the door and then ram it open. The goal is for eventually every patrol officer in Bexar County to have one of these kits in their cars ready to go if needed. Reporting in San Marcos, I'm Jordan Elder. Back to you.
Emergency responders are typically first on the scene to help. But when gunfire rang out 2 weeks ago at the Canlin West Apartments,
I was terrified.
It's a stranger just 3 doors away who rushes in when she hears a young girl's screams.
It was all happening right here. My daughter, she was laid out, she had got shot and she didn't think twice.
SAPD says 2 kids find a stashed gun in the laundry room area at the Northside complex. 10-year-old Charisma is one of them.
And I had picked it up and put it in the grass. Then my best friend, he had picked it up because he thought it was a play gun. So he picked it up and then did the trigger.
The 4th grader is accidentally shot in the shoulder at point-blank range. Her mother, Lala, says the bullet goes straight through her body, missing major organs. Tiffany Moore, a Hurricane Katrina evacuee who's seen her share of gun violence, put someone else's child before her own as the chaos unfolds.
She helped me take off my daughter's sweater, her shirt, and she told me, she was like, hold it right here, apply pressure.
She's everyone else's hero that even knows her.
Sharika Ratliff nominated her best friend Tiffany on Cash for Kindness, calling it an amazing opportunity to show the mother of a child with cancer that she's a true hero.
She ran out of her house and ran towards the little girl, saved the little girl's life, waited until the paramedics came so they can help the little girl.
Hello.
Hey, what you doing?
Sharika helps us with the surprise.
Can you come outside?
She tells her she has a used freezer to give away. We're really here with Cash for Kindness. I'm Ryan Wolf from Fox San Antonio.
I know who you is.
Okay, do you know what I'm doing here?
I know.
Well, I'm here because you're a hero.
Tiffany, I called Ryan Wolf to let him know that you are the best friend in the whole wide world. I love you so much. You took your own shirt off to do that. And I want to say I love you. Come here. Come here.
I share the real reason why we're all here. So you said you recognize me from Fox 29.
Yeah.
Will you watch?
Yeah, from all your in the morning, afternoon, and the night.
Well, you know especially we love having you at nighttime. Have you ever seen my program Cash for Kindness? I hand her a stack of money on behalf of Fox San Antonio.
$300, $400, $500. This my shirt.
She want to hug you, but she can't.
How you feel?
Shocked, confused, bewildered. I need a cigarette.
When the shock wears off, Tiffany knows exactly what she wants to do next.
I'm gonna give 100 to you.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Because I've been shot and I know the fear. So that $100, go out to eat. Y'all go have fun.
Tears of joy instead of pain. A woman who knows what it truly means to be kind.
Are you strong and you don't even know it?
Build that wall! Build that wall!
A clear divide in Elkhart on Thursday as President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence rolled into town by motorcade.
I'm just a big fan.
He says it like it is.
The message I would like to say is that, there is the other side, and I'd like to get that message out. So that's why I'm here.
A small group of demonstrators that assembled Thursday afternoon grew into several hundred by evening. They clashed with Trump supporters who didn't make it inside for the speech. Thousands of the president's fans showed up in Elkhart for the campaign rally, many echoing the same message.
People tried to push him into a corner and he's punching his way out.
While hundreds who couldn't fit inside listened to the rally outside, one of the organizers of the protest told me the goal was not to outnumber the president's supporters, but to make a statement they hope will have an impact in the long run.
I don't want to support a president that makes fun of minorities, makes fun of people with disabilities, makes fun of women, and that's just not how a president talks, and I feel like that kind of keeps us going, is that we know we're on the right side of history.
As night falls on Eagle Pass, Texas, the Republican lawmakers who toured the border here today are returning to their districts with a major victory in the fight to preserve Title 42, if only a temporary victory.
It just feels like a gloomy, sad day.
Texas Republican Tony Gonzalez not only referencing Monday's rainy weather in Eagle Pass, but also the recovery of Texas National Guard Specialist Bishop Evans, who drowned Friday in Eagle Pass while trying to rescue a migrant crossing the Rio Grande River.
And I know we're unified in ensuring that we are going to honor Specialist Bishop Evans, because that man is a hero.
The day's tour, led by Congressman Gonzalez and House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy. It also included Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, Chip Roy of Texas, and a major focus for them in their discussions with Customs and Border Protection, National Guard, and just the people who live and work here along the border is the potential lifting of Title 42.
If President Biden lifts Title 42, what we see today will be much worse.
The human suffering that has happened and is happening and will happen if Title 42 is repealed and lifted, and the amount of people that are expected to come across this border starts coming, this will bring human suffering, death, and crime like we have never seen.
Their comments coming before word came down of a temporary restraining order keeping Title 42 in place.
But here's the real truth. Title 42 is a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It's not actual border security.
And if a Democrat believes it should be lifted, come here and see what's happening before you make that decision.
People from all over the country are flocking to the memorial at Robb Elementary, paying their respects to the 19 students and 2 teachers killed 1 week ago.
Unfortunately, we have 6 employees who were affected. You feel powerless. Wish you could really do something more.
Spencer Tosanovich works just outside the town at Ox Ranch. He says some are beginning to debate the school's future.
I think they're all in agreement of actually removing the school, for several reasons. And then, of course, besides the tragedy, it will allow for a new, better school for future generations.
And lawmakers agree.
They're concerned about their kids who still have to go back to school next year. They don't want to go back to Robb Elementary.
Congressman Joaquin Castro tells CNN he's already working on a funding source for the project. Schools with similar tragedies have gone this route too. Sandy Hook Elementary was completely replaced. At Columbine and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High Schools, the buildings were partially redone. Artist Roberto Marquez says he feels the school should be replaced too.
Hopefully this piece will tell the reality that we need to do better as humans.
He plans to donate this painting of a classroom honoring those who died.
We as community, especially our political leaders, that we know that they're doing something about it so that this won't happen again.
It brings back a lot of memories.
Memories of flying the backbone of America's armed forces defeating Nazi Germany in World War II. A B-17, a B-24 Liberator, a P-40 Warhawk, and a P-51 Mustang.
My wife told me, you need to go. And I said, well, it's expensive. She goes, you need to go. So I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity. It was worth the experience.
Clayton Lyon didn't need to book a flight. He already knew what it feels like. As a 20-year-old from Iowa, he made the trip to New York and flew the B-24 Liberator to Italy, right into the heart of Axis aggression.
I didn't know where any place was. I had to look it up on the chart to see where it was. I'd never heard of them before. A kid 20 years old, and just like a lot of them, A lot of them in the same boat at that time.
Others share a different kind of connection with the planes.
My grandfather was a B-17 pilot in World War II.
Kate Fleetwood made the trip to Waterloo to see part of her family's legacy and to honor those who defended our nation.
It's a lot of mixed emotions. Some sadness that I couldn't share that with him in person. Joy that I do get to see this. It's living history.
Kate got to tour the B-17 and also fly it, just like her grandfather.
I almost feel like he's here. You know, just a little part of him is here, and that's pretty amazing.
In Waterloo, Lucas Voss, CBS 2 News.